thank you all for being here. This is like a sold-out show. It's very sweet of you all to come. Thank you. Round of applause for yourself, sure. Very nice of you. I've never even been here when this creepy jury box was open. Everyone else, I can like kind of see their faces. You guys are like backlit with this blue light. It's very like paranoia inducing. A bunch of, like a faceless room just watching you. Very exciting stuff. Ugh. I got diagnosed with ADHD. By diagnosed, I do mean by TikTok. You like TikTok? Yeah, it's better than WebMD. Just start scrolling. The kids will tell you what's wrong with you. It's nice. They're like, hey, did you ever used to look out car windows on road trips as a kid? Yeah? You got ADHD, bro. I knew it. Are you ever like polite to people? Yeah? That's a trauma response, my man. You don't say. Do you ever have trouble falling asleep at night? I sure do. That's because you haven't gotten over the pedestrian you struck in New Mexico that night in 2017. How does the algorithm do it? How do they know? Last year I started taking Adderall. That's a hell of a drug. So, some Adderall users. He can't remember why he's clapping. He didn't take it today. He was doing this and then going. I like an enthusiastic clapper. I don't care what it's for, I'll clap. Adderall's like a monkey's paw drug. Like an evil genie that you gotta keep your eye on. Like he'll grant your wish, but he'll twist it a little bit, you know? That's Adderall. Adderall's like, 'tis the power of concentration you desire. Yes, we shall grant you the power to concentrate. But to concentrate on what, I wonder? Will you write jokes today, or will you call 3 friends from high school and alphabetize your socks? It's a toss-up. We don't know. Tanner, how did you know I was high that day? I swear. I go shoot commercials in Provo, and I feel like, oh, they have no idea. They have no clue. And now I am very scared. Very scared. Ooh. You guys like weed? Yeah. It's so good. Weed's so good. Weed's so good I left Mormonism. That's powerful stuff. I was very Mormon. Nay, the most Mormon. I loved being Mormon. I was gonna be Mormon my whole life. All I wanted to be was a good Mormon boy. I got high one time, and I was like, yo, Mormonism might be bullshit. I feel like God would have mentioned this. I checked. There's no. Oh, you mean all those revelations he gave you, none of them were about weed? All of them were about marrying your babysitters, and none of them were about weed? Seems suspicious to me. I tell my prophet about weed. But it was nowhere. Weed's amazing. Weed changed my life. It made everything better. It makes everything better. What do you like? Movies? Music? Better. Better with weed. Weed makes chores better. You ever got real high and just like vacuumed? It turns into this Japanese sand garden experience. Very zen, very meditative. I did all afternoon. I was like, what a glorious Tuesday. Oh, weed makes food better. Weed makes vegetables taste good. Weed makes celery taste like something. I'm not sure what, but I'm not gonna stop till I get to the bottom of this. Do we have any more celery here? Theoretically, I could eat healthier. The problem is, weed makes vegetables taste good, but it makes sugar taste like God spit in your mouth. You ever been real high and like had a sip of Sprite that made your eyes roll back in your head and start convulsing? I can't get kicked out of another McDonald's. It's good Sprite. My compliments to the chef. Very good Sprite tonight. It makes driving better. I know, but there's something where I'm a safer driver when I'm too high to text. Is that bad? I've never been more focused on the road. I'm locked in, just. Asphalt. Asphalt? Asphalt. Asphalt. Asphalt? Asphalt. That light is yellow. I'm gonna slow down. Don't clap for this. I know it's bad. But listen, I have more. Do you know what the most dangerous thing you can do while driving is? Probably drive under the influence. But statistically, it's change lanes. That's when you're most likely to get in or cause an accident, changing lanes. When I was high, I never even considered changing lanes. It never crossed my mind. I could be stuck behind a red radio flyer and I'd just be like, we get there when we get there. We're like a little team, you and me. I I get sad when cars exit. I'm like, friend, where will I go now? Don't you hate it when cars don't use their blinker? I've never blinkered more in my life. When I'm high, I put my turn signal on, area codes away. I can't be too safe. I'm like tick 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 tick. I'm like worried a car might teleport behind me. Just tick 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 tick. Let's check the other side just to be sure. Tick 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 tick. And now, okay, there we go. Weed makes parenting better? Whoa, any parents in the house? Love it. I am more patient. I am more playful. I am full of whimsy. It's beautiful. It makes everything magical. I love it. So I cannot wait for my son to grow up and I can be like, hey man, think back on your happiest memories. I was high. That's why we were having so much fun. Anytime we did a wrestling match before bedtime, I was probably high. Sunday morning Lego builds, I was definitely high. Disneyland, I was fucking high, man. You think you would have gotten a $200 custom lightsaber if I hadn't downed a 200 milligram edible that morning? No way. No way. You remember that time that I taught our entire group how to make D's nuts jokes when I chaperoned the field trip to the state capitol? Of course everyone loved me. I was high. Dude, anytime we stayed up late watching movies, I was high. Do you remember that time that we skipped school and we went to IHOP instead? I was hungover. But I was also high. Here, actually, I've made a list. Hold on. Anytime I ordered a brownie from Pizza Hut, or ordered from Pizza Hut, anytime we went to Chuck-A-Rama, anytime I asked you about Minecraft updates, oh, tell me more. Anytime I laughed at a Mr. Beast video with you. Anytime you asked for something and then got that thing. Weed makes you a cooler parent. Regular me is like, no, you can't. You have so many toys at home. You don't need, we've got a lot of bills to pay. You understand that there's like limited amount of money in the world, and I wish I could buy it for you. But high me is like, wow. The innocence of childhood really is fleeting. I guess that's what makes it so special. I love you so much. Of course you can have some Beyblades. To have all the Beyblades you want. When you got everything that you wanted for Christmas, that wasn't thanks to Santa Claus. That was thanks to Santa Cruz Hayes as an online shopping problem. Made me a much cooler parent. Weirder things I've noticed. Why does weed make my posture better? I stand like this all day long. I take one hit and I'm like, I have grace. I'm a dancer, instantly. Jessa used to say that when I was high, she would say, you're a little bit gayer when you're high. It was just posture, that's it. We straights, we have very bad posture. There's something... I don't know. You guys should, if you want to fix your posture, just get like, you got to put something up your butt, I think. Just a finger did wonders for me. Like, try it. You might like it. My vocabulary gets better. You ever been high and used a word you don't know the meaning of in real life? It just came to you? Didactic. Speleogenesis. I could not tell you what those mean right now, but I did use them correctly while eating Lucky Charms and chocolate milk in response to a conversation that ended 3 minutes prior. I don't know how that happens. Anybody else try drugs way too late? A lot of us in this crowd. Tanner will clap to this joke in 6 years. But not yet. You're missing your window, Tanner. You're supposed to do them young. They're different when you're young. There's a whole different experience when you do them older. I should have done them young. Kids, MDMA, kids take MDMA and they roll. They roll at raves and foam parties. They get laid. Do it when you're 30 and you will lay on a foam roller for 90 of the happiest minutes of your life. Don't get me wrong, it's good. I just don't feel like I'm doing it right. You know? The first time, if you did acid at the right age, the first time you did acid, you were probably acutely aware of your precise position and role in this vast, infinite, interconnected universe. The first time I did acid, I was acutely aware of precisely where my lower back pain was coming from. That's the T6 vertebrae, if I'm not mistaken. How do I know this? Mushrooms. When you're young, mushrooms are supposed to make you want to reconnect with nature. Past 30, they just make you want to reconnect with your father. That's been my experience so far. Am I the only one? Only one getting high and trying to extract an I love you from my dad? Just me? Okay. Thank you. Some other like-minded folks. When you go out drinking, you gotta tell your friends, like, hey, whatever happens tonight, please do not let me call my ex. Anytime I do any psychedelic, I'm like, hey, will you please not let me try to heal my father's inner child this evening? He's sick of the phone calls. And they're not working. My dad's a tough nut to crack. Me and Jessa did acid one President's Day. And I was like, I'm gonna call my dad. I called him up and I was like, Dad, I love you. And I feel like we've grown apart and I don't know why. Because I love you so much and I know that you love me because you're my dad, right? And my dad said, yeah. Weatherman says it's gonna snow today. Not a lot, but a little. I said, Dad, tell me you love me. And he said, well, obviously, yeah. You rotating your tires. Really, you should be doing that every time you change your oil. Don't feel sad. Last year, for the first time in my life, I saw my dad cry. I got to see my dad cry for the very first time in my entire life. All it took was for his mom to die. Sad for him, great for me. I was looking forward to it. He walked up to the casket, and for the first time in my life, I saw him just weep, just openly, just tears pouring down. He's just up there like crying over his mom's dead body. I'm in the back of the funeral home like, yes. Cry for me, Daddy. Doing something for me. Keep it going. Right there at the wake, a cousin who I met once when I was 8 came up to me. Now I think he found out that I was a comedian, and I think that he looked up some of my videos beforehand, and I think he watched this one joke that I had about acid, and I think that he was trying to make some small talk, but he doesn't say any of that. What he said was, last time I did acid, I was in prison. Suddenly, I had a few questions for this cousin. And he said, in someone's butt? I said, I didn't even ask anything yet. And he said, it's everybody's first question, and it doesn't matter what it is. If it came through into prison, it came through someone's butt. And suddenly, I had one more question for this cousin. What's the most you ever put in your butt? And he said, 10 cans of dip. Yeah. Did you feel that? My posture's better all of a sudden. What was that? Don't worry, we're naive. We've never been to prison. He said, you don't stick 10 cans of dip up your ass. You take the dip out of the cans, you shove it into the single finger of a latex glove, you twist that off, tear it off, you shove that up your butt, and that's how you get 10 cans of dip in prison. And I said, sick. I think it's my turn now, so we'll talk later. Hi, Grandma. While we were there, I got to stay at the old family farm, see where my dad grew up, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And one day we were there, my dad mentioned a thing that he was certain was lost forever, but I could tell it meant a lot to him, so I thought, I'm gonna find it, and then he'll love me. And I did. I searched for days, and I found it. And when I was giddy. I was like, oh, he's really gonna say it this time. I ran to him with it. I was like waving him down. I ran, and I was like, look, I found it. You thought that we would never find it again, but I found it. It was right where I was looking yesterday. I said to dig a little bit deeper. I found it. And my dad said to me, and I'll never forget, he said, you know, when we were younger, our neighbors had a diesel tractor, and that thing could run all day. But we had a gasoline tractor, and we would have to fill it up 2 or 3 times a day. Okay. love you, Dad. And that's when someone told me my dad might be autistic. And by someone, I do mean TikTok. This woman on TikTok, she said her boyfriend was autistic and that one of the ways that he expresses his love for her is by sharing his favorite facts. And I was like, what if Dad hasn't been dodging the questions with weather forecasts all this year? What if the only language he knows is tire rotation? What if he was so happy, his heart so brimming with joy that he thought to himself, I should tell Aaron about the fuel efficiency of diesel engines. He's earned it. You guys having fun so far? Yeah, even if you don't want a sticker, don't want a t-shirt, you can come say hi, say hello. And I really appreciate you guys all being here, so I won't mind chit-chatting or doing whatever with you guys after the show. Just don't walk past me like you didn't just listen to me talk for an hour. That's the only thing. When I see people just walk past like, who's this guy? You know me. I'm Aaron. I told you about my dad. That meant nothing? Right now, at this part of the set, I'm nervous. I only have 3 controversial jokes, and I'm gonna do them all right now, back to back. The only controversial jokes I have, so I'm gonna do these 3 upsetting jokes, and then stick with me. At the end, there's like 2 more nice, sweet jokes about my son, okay? Does that sound fair to everyone? No one riot. No one get mad at me, please. I can't take it. Okay. Also, they kind of get more offensive as you go. It's like more controversial at least. I'm more nervous, so anyway. We're all on board though? Okay. First up, I think Utah drivers are fine. I've been here 11 years keeping all these thoughts to myself, and I can't keep it in anymore. I'm like, they're no worse, and I think they might just be fine. I don't know. It's weird. Every time someone's complaining about Utah drivers, they always talk about how fast they go. I can't. They're crazy. They drive fast. What a weird thing to get mad about. You ever been somewhere where they drive slow? I promise it's worse. You ever been to Boise? Boise's the weirdest place I've ever driven. All the speed limits, everywhere, 35 miles an hour. And you're like, okay, yeah, but we're all gonna do 45, right? Nope! 28! Not a mile more. The thing about driving fast and slow always gets me. The people, they'll complain about Utah drivers and they'll be like, yeah. What's crazy though, some people drive faster than me, and other people, they drive slower than me. You're just gonna run into that everywhere. Pretty much everyone on the road's gonna fall into one of those 2 categories. Any state that you're in. You know? I love the one in Utah though, Aaron, in Utah, it gets harder to see the road when it's snowing. You think y'all got special snow? Turns out snow's a visual impairment in every state. It gets harder to see the road everywhere. You can't see the lines. I see the lines. Can I say that? I think this every time. I see them. I've never been more scared than when people say they can't see the lines. And I go, stop. Maybe you're driving too fast? Have you considered slowing down in the snow? It gets easier to see the lines. Also, they're kind of just like right here. Are you driving like this? Just... Those are the lines. If you lose track of them for a second, keep going that way. You'll be okay. People tell me they can't merge in Utah. No, in Utah they don't let you pass, they don't let you merge. And I go, I merge. 11 years I've merged. I never not merged. I always merged. Were you using your turning signal? Okay, they just get worse from here, just so you know. Next up, babies on airplanes. Shut up about babies on airplanes. They're allowed to be there. You don't own the plane. You're not Mr. Delta. You're on the same $600 Skybus as the rest of us, Your Highness. But whenever there's these people, there's a baby on their plane, suddenly it becomes theirs. Like, oh, is there a baby on my plane? And they're like, Rutherford von Southwest, we didn't know you were flying with us peasants today. We'll throw this little shit out the window for you. Please, have a good flight. I like babies. I would rather sit next to a baby than any of you. Why? Because they're perfect, innocent creatures that have never done a single wrong thing in their life. A baby has never kicked off his shoes mid-flight and started picking at his toenails next to me. Baby's never pretended not to hear the sound of my kneecaps crunch when he slammed his seat back into me. You never seen a baby get carried off the plane by 3 sheriff's deputies? Just foaming at the mouth. I will not be controlled! Sheep! Sheep! But you want me to think this cute little guy is the bad guy? Because he's crying? He's a baby! Who thinks his ears might explode. You are a grown-ass man who thinks it's okay to ask visibly uncomfortable young women where they're staying while they're in town this weekend. And you think I'm gonna be on your side? You had 13 years to buy noise-canceling headphones. What are you doing? Are you raw-dogging across country to Orlando? Are you insane? This is on you. Take some personal accountability. Don't blame it on the baby. Just 12 weeks ago, he was ripped from the ether and thrust into this physical world and forced to endure mortal suffering. He's not trying to ruin your Jack Reacher reading time. He just wants to know where he is and why his mom disappears every time he turns his head. And I do not blame the parents. Do not blame the parents. Do you think they like this? Do you think they wanted to do this? No one wants to bring a baby on a plane, but grandma's not gonna make it to another Christmas. So this is it. This is why we're alive on this planet. Let's empty the savings and endure the wrath of strangers so Nana can hold the future in her hands for one fleeting moment before she passes on to places her family cannot yet follow. And you're up there like, I'm trying to watch 500 Days of Summer! Did someone bring a miracle on this plane? Uncle JetBlue will be hearing about this. Okay, this is the worst one. I know you guys are getting into it, but I'll preface once more, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It didn't mean to, it was an accident. Okay. I go to this boxing gym. Not like real boxing, but fitness boxing. Does anybody go to those? It's like just like a big room full of heavy bags. And everybody gets on a bag, and then there's an instructor in the middle with a mic, and he just says, jab, cross, jab, and you just do whatever he says. It's a lot of fun. It's a great workout. It's a lot of fun. This gym that I go to, they do a lot of fun, festive things. Halloween, we had, costume party. Fun stuff. Like we dress up in green on St. Patrick's Day. At the New Year, we had Let It Go night. And the class before, they were like, next time's Let It Go night. So everyone take this card and write down one thing you want to let go of in the new year. And I took it pretty seriously. And I was like, if I'm being honest, I've got some ex-Mormon baggage that I wish I wasn't carrying anymore. Like sometimes I still feel mad or bothered, and I don't want to anymore. Just this leftover religious, bad feelings. I want to be done with that. But I don't know how to put that on an index card. So I just came up with a shorthand, and I turned it in, and I came back the next time for Let It Go night. I immediately felt foolish because they had printed out all of our index cards and saran wrapped them to our bags. I'm looking around this room, and all the bags say things like, sugar, sweets, Reese's peanut butter cups. There's a lot of food-based letting go. Someone said my temper, someone said PhD thesis, but my bag in the middle of the room, I shit you not, underneath a light, says, Jesus Christ. I didn't know anyone else was gonna see it. I thought it was a little inside joke for me, but I'm trying to cover up my sign as best as possible. What makes it worse is the entire night the instructor keeps reminding us. So he's like, visualize what you're fighting. Don't forget, keep it in your mind. Visualize what you're fighting. And I was just there like, he's making me cross, jab, cross. Visualize. The question then becomes, which Jesus do you visualize? We have several to choose from. There's Mormon Jesus, obviously. It's one that I thought about a lot. You guys know Mormon Jesus? Just jacked Jesus. Paul Bunyan Jesus. All-American corn-fed Jesus. And that guy, oh my goodness, you do not want to let him get inside. Will rock your world. He will show you the meaning of laying on hands. He's tough. I did my Mormon mission in Italy, so I also couldn't stop thinking about Catholic Jesus. You guys know him. This guy. You know, emaciated but kind of hot. Like a kid you had a crush on in high school, that guy. And that Jesus is spry. He is fast. He will run you around the circle. He is tough to nail down. It's hard out there. So now I'm starting to get into it. This is like the greatest workout I've ever had. But I'm self-conscious. I don't want to get too into it because then my neighbors are going to be like, that guy's really going to town on Jesus. What is Aaron working through? Also, I don't know what my friends believe, and I don't want to offend anybody, and I'm thinking like, if you believe in Jesus and you believe he's our Savior and died for our sins, what I'm doing right now is a little sacrilegious. Maybe. It's a sin, probably. Probably a sin. And then I couldn't get that out of my head. I kept thinking, if Jesus is real and Jesus suffered for all of my sins, then he's feeling the weight of this particular sin that I am committing right now, which means he's feeling the weight of each and every one of these big, meaty hooks. And I was like, I gotta face this guy at judgment? But by the end of class, I was like, no, he's got to face me at judgment. I kicked his ass. I want to be in line in heaven, like excited. Can't wait for my turn. You remember me? You want to do this again, huh? You gonna cry for your daddy this time, huh? Come here, you Nazarene bitch, let me in. Let me in! Can you imagine if a guy beat the shit out of you and then copped your entire look? And then the next time you saw him, he looked just like you? And what's up? Okay, that's the end of my controversial material. Thank you for making it through it. Fantastic crowd, fantastic. Now I owe you 2 more sweet jokes, okay? I love being a dad. I love it so much. It makes me so happy, and I'm trying to give my son things I didn't get, everything I didn't get as a kid, you know? Like affection and compliments and, verbal affirmations of love, things like that. And for the most part, I feel like I'm doing a great job. I made the right choice. Every now and then, I worry, have I overcorrected? Does he respect me enough? Does he fear me at all? He says things to me I couldn't have dreamt of saying to my father. But, for the most part, it's good. We were on a road trip, and we stopped to stretch our legs in this little town of Burley, Idaho. Yeah. Well, I didn't know they let y'all out. That's great. That's cool. Is it you? Do you know? All right, so you go past like the 6 gas stations that you have, and then there's like a park. There's a little park that we got out, and there's a river in that park, and it's a hot summer day. And like the local kids are out swimming in this river. And my son is like, Dad, can we go swimming? And I go, no, we're on a road trip. We gotta get back in the car. Daylight's burning. We gotta go. And it hits me, I'm being my dad. My dad wouldn't stop to let us go swimming. He didn't stop to let us pee. He just threw water bottles back at us because we were in a race that no one else knew about. We gotta make good time. So I think, I'll do it your way. Let's try it. Okay, let's go swimming. And I'm so glad we did. Instantly, one of my favorite memories we ever had. It was like a Norman Rockwell painting, just pure Americana. A hot summer day in the cold swimming hole with the boys. We were splishing, we were splashing, we were having fun. There was a bridge. You know, the bridge, the older kids were jumping off of the bridge into the river. I thought, that looks fun. I went up, I did it, it was fun. It was just it was magical, it was beautiful. I was high, it was great. And we get back in the car, and I'm thinking, now is what I should express out loud to my son how much I appreciate him. So I was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know you were right, and I was glad that I listened to you. I feel like you make me more spontaneous. You definitely, and I really appreciate that. I love being your dad. I'm really, really grateful that you're my son. And then he said to me, I'll never forget this, he said, and Dad, I bet if I wasn't here, you would have been too scared to jump off the bridge, huh? The fuck did you just say to me? Is that what you heard? That's not what I said. I said you make me more spontaneous. Now I was a little chicken shit before I met you. I was the only one of us who jumped off the bridge, as I recall. You didn't even consider it. So, how about I drive us to the bridge right now and I see which one of us jumps off? How about that? No? Okay, put some respect on your father's name then. His mom called me. His mom said to me, I want you to stop showing our son R-rated movies. I said, okay. What's your plan for finding out if he's cool? Do you have one? Have you thought about it? No? Okay. She was mad because he was having nightmares. He said, of course he's having nightmares. He's 8 years old. And he just watched Hellraiser. Believe me, we'd be worried if he wasn't having nightmares. I would have called you. We had a sick little freak on our hands. He loved it. I tried telling her 8-year-olds just have nightmares. It doesn't matter what you watch. When I was 8 years old, I was having the worst nightmares of my life about the brave little toaster. The black goo from Fern Gully haunted my dreams. At least our son's having big kid nightmares. Nothing to be ashamed of nightmares. When he's getting chased around in his dreams is by a goddamn xenomorph. And not the principal from Matilda. She was scary. Oh. But I was mad. I was like, I'm a divorced dad. Showing bad movies to my son is my God-given right and purpose on this planet. You can't ask me. I would never ask you to stop crying at his haircuts. That'd be against your nature. You make him pose with a chalkboard on the first day of school. I make him watch Predator at an impressionable age. These are our divine roles. But all of this is happening because I let him watch A Quiet Place 2. It's PG-13, by the way. It's baby shit. Child's play compared to what he's already seen. Which includes Child's Play. So I thought we were fine. Also, he told me he watched Quiet Place 1 with his mom. Turns out, no he didn't. He lied so he could see the movie. And that's what I was mad about. I couldn't believe my little guy was lying to me already. I was like, so you're lying to me now, huh? You're just gonna sit there, you're gonna lie to me? You're gonna lie to your father? You're gonna lie to me about the movies that you watch with your mom? then why can't you lie to your mom about the movies you're watching with me? I'm sorry. You're blowing the whole operation. Did you learn nothing from Fight Club? Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thank you for being here. Tip your wait staff. Come see us in the lobby. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night. Are you focused? Are you concentrating? Okay. Why do they give it to us? They're like, I don't know what to do about, your productivity, but here's some meth, I guess. I don't know. We've been giving it to a lot of people. Just try it, man. I don't know what to do. Hold on, just real fast. Is it okay if I tell some jokes about you?
Can you concentrate that much?
Nice. Okay. Pay no attention, pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. It's just my dad. It's the first time I have invited him to a show in like 7 years? I don't know. I was like, Dad, it's a clean show. You can come to it. Surprise, all my clean jokes are about how I need your love and affection. So I should have told you beforehand. I thought I had more clean jokes. I didn't think I was gonna have to rely on this, but I've strayed from the path. So one of my favorite hobbies is trying to trick him into saying that he loves me. Yeah? You guys ever do that? That's one of my favorite pastimes, but he's good. He's too good. He is so good. One time I told him that I loved him, and he told me it was going to snow today. Good talk. And that's when someone told me my dad might be autistic. What if he was so happy, his heart so brimming with joy that he thought to himself, I should tell Aaron about the fuel efficiency of diesel engines. He's earned it.
And I do love you.
Yeah! That's on camera. They're gonna email that to me. I'm gonna play that at your funeral. Okay? He always loved me. Wow. Finally beat the master at his game. Wow. Should have been inviting you to shows all this time. Now what do I do with the rest of my life? Daddy. Ooh, Daddy.